Afternoon, everyone. This is Toyin Umesiri. Welcome to my live show. And those on Clubhouse, we already got started. Thank you so much for being here. Today's topic, really, I'm going to do a little bit of teaching. I usually don't do that online, I keep that for my academy. But today, I'm going to do a little bit of teaching because I actually released a template that supports you in launching your and selling your products and services. So I'm going to dive into a few things from there. I'll share some of my experiences. So that's what today is about: how to launch and sell your products and services. So for those who are new, if this is your first time ever of joining my room or my live show, you're welcome. My name is Toyin Umesiri. Some call me Coach Toyin because I do coach and I do consult as well. A little bit about my background. I actually come from the retail space. I have a supply chain logistics strategy background. I'm also the founder and CEO of Nazaru. I've hosted a lot of global summits. So when it comes to launching a product or a service, I've done both. I've done from lipstick brands to global summits to everything in between, to transformation, to leadership and success coaching program, to events, to masterclasses. I'm constantly launching something. Okay. I have platforms, Business and Leadership Academy, International Trade Network. So you're in the right space if you're ever wondering and you want to learn the most effective strategies you can deploy to launch your products and your services. I've done it. I've been there. Yeah, I have been there. I see Miss Irene joining us from England. Thank you for being here. Yes, those who follow, please just let us know where you're joining from. And again, on Clubhouse, thank you so much for being here. So let me begin by sharing one of the top challenges that people face, okay, that I've seen when people want to launch a product, a service, a platform, an event, a book. Fun fact, my family also, we are into book publishing. Yes, there's so much you don't know about toy. So when it comes to even launching books, we work with a lot of authors in my family. I bet you just learned something new there. So when it comes to launching product, everything, right? Releasing things into the marketplace, your market entry strategy. I also teach international trade. So if you want to go even internationally, I deal in that as well. That's towing for you. But the number one challenge is what I call the challenge of clarity. Is that when an entrepreneur or a business owner suffers from lack of clarity, clarity in communication becomes the fundamental flaw in delivery of their message. Okay, let me repeat that. The number one challenge that I've seen those who want to launch products or services in the marketplace, the number one thing they suffer from is lack of clarity. That's one. Okay, there are several things. So just watch out for these because the solution is what I'm about to share with you. Lack of clarity is one. Okay. Another thing that many people may not understand or may not have invested in is what I call new product development, right? Is that even in the world of services, many people do not invest enough time, okay, to ensure that what they're trying to launch has been tested, verified to be effective. Okay. So I'm dropping several things you need to think through because we all want to sell. Everybody wants to go to market with a widget or a product or a service, on and on and on. I get it. But the strategic background, the things you have to do at the drawing board as the architect, okay, as the business engineer, the business development expert that I'm training and coaching everyone to be, okay, is that first you need clarity of intention, clarity of purpose, clarity in terms of the features. I'm going to dive into that today. You also need to clearly understand the value in the marketplace. And for you to verify the value, most times the entrepreneur imposes their own value statement when they're trying to bring the product into the marketplace versus the real perceived value. And that can only come from the market. The market will tell you what it values. The market will tell you. When I say market, your segment, these are technical terms, right? The market segment will tell you through the laws of demand and supply where they want to spend money, right? What they're spending money on, what they're looking for, the problems they have, on and on and on. Because you need all of that deep insight for you to launch successfully. So I'm just laying the foundation. And I have Miss Nevi here on stage with me on Clubhouse. What do you think so far? And if you're in a space where you can speak, I completely understand. If you want to comment, you're welcome to. If you have a question, you're welcome. Usually my live shows are more of a conversation, right? I just want to also see what's on your mind, how I can also prescribe a solution for you. Any thoughts so far, Miss Navy? And if not, that's okay. I'll just keep talking. Awesome.
I mean, yeah, sorry. I love the room, and I'm so glad that I by accident just came in here.
Awesome.
Really, because everything that you are talking about is what I need to hear now and what I need help with.
Okay.
Obviously, so it gladdens me that you are actually addressing the the topic of my concern and what I am doing at this moment.
Right.
So I'll be quiet here and listen, and I will learn. And yes, thank you so much for
Awesome.
having this room and your time.
Oh, and thank you for being here. The link I included up above is also the roadmap to business growth and success, because there's a journey every entrepreneur is on. What I'm talking about today is just, should I say, a stop point on that journey. Okay. This is just a stop point on the journey of business growth and success when it comes to how to actually take your products to the marketplace, products and services. Now, I see Rubdu from Ethiopia, Claudia from Ghana. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are talking about how to effectively launch and sell your products and services in the marketplace. And believe me, I'm using the word products and services, but it goes on and on to events, masterclasses, masterminds, books, anything that you want to bring into the marketplace to commercialize or monetize, or bring community around that you want to secure buy-in, right? That you need to secure buy-in from your stakeholders, be it customers, clients, right? All of that. I deal in that world from government to private sector to consumer. So every day of my life is fun. Okay. So as I shared before, you need to activate clarity. Why are you doing this? What is this product for? These services, who is it for? Okay? Clarity is the number one thing. And to also help you with clarity, there's a downloadable my I just I'm laughing at myself. You can now download what I call the product and service launch template. It's a series of questions that you want to sit with. I will go through a few of those right now, because when we talk about clarity within us as the entrepreneur, we know what we know. Okay? Within us is information, data, the story, our story, why we're doing what we're doing, our convictions, on and on and on. It's within us. But here's the thing: when we want to launch a product and a service, it's no longer about us, it's no longer about you. It's about them, they, them, the consumers, your clients, your potential clients. This is about messaging to them, getting them to also see your perspective, right? Helping them understand why they need to pay attention, helping them to believe how you believe, okay? Helping them to see the product as the solution that they need, okay? You need to really, really understand that the moment that it's time to launch a product or a service in the marketplace, it's no longer about me. It's about the people we've created the product and the solution for. Okay. So, how to launch and sell your product and services effectively, successfully starts with clarity. To help with clarity, I've designed these templates that you need to sit with. You need to answer all the questions in that template. You can download it at toyinumesiri.com/the roadmap. It's part of the roadmap to business growth and success packages that I have available at the Academy, Business and Leadership Academy. But let's dive into one of the questions right now. Okay. For those on Clubhouse, if someone else wants to come up stage, the audio gets better when there's someone with me on stage. The first question when it comes to activating clarity is I'm going to ask you to describe your product and service. This is a simple answer, or right? It sounds simple. It's a simple question. Let me put it that way. But what this is about is getting you to express, right? Express with words, with clear words, how other people need to understand your product. You need to give it a name. What is the name of your product? How would you describe it? The reason is because, again, when you're launching or selling a product and a service, it's no longer about you, the creator. It's about giving words and descriptive words to help your potential clients and customer to conceptualize what they're about to invest in. Nobody buys or invests in anything that they do not understand. Nobody buys or invests in a product or a service that they do not understand. Right? So let's stop making assumptions that just because you post something out there, or you put a flyer out there, or you put a video out there, or you are creating all this content out there, stop assuming that you've actually helped people understand what you're doing. Okay? So, how would you describe your product and service? And you need to describe it in such a way that somebody else, for example, halfway around the world, can read that description and understand exactly what what that product is. If you cannot help me understand what that product is, that means I'm not going to buy, because nobody buy. I'm not going to buy what I don't know. Customers don't buy what they don't understand. Do you realize that? Do you, right? Do you buy anything you don't do you just go out there and start buying anything? No. So as you want to, how to launch and sell a product starts with clarity for yourself first, and also providing clarity to the people you want to sell to. That's the responsibility that we have. We have to do due diligence in helping people understand what we've just created and what it can do for them. That's why this template is important. In fact, that is why I created this template, the product and service launch template. And there's also a 30 minutes guide and instruction of how to complete that template, because we want to activate the power of clarity in your messaging, in your communication, in your delivery in the marketplace. The success of selling and launching your product is highly dependent on how clear you can be. If you want anybody to buy into anything, you need to put it down on paper. It's like you need to sketch it. It's like an architect. You need to sketch. When I'm hosting events, no matter how sophisticated it is, if I want to invite ambassadors, policymakers, government officials, it still has to do with clarity. Because if they don't understand what I'm inviting them to, if they don't understand what this event is going to do for them, why they should pay attention to it, nobody is showing up. That's why you are not selling. Okay? Clarity. You need to take time out to clearly describe, right? The more colorful you can be with your words, The more descriptive you can be, the more powerful your message will be in the marketplace. Take that from me. Okay? What are the features? What are the benefits? I'm only going to stay on one of the questions. You can access the template at toyinumesiri.com/roadmap, where you find the roadmap to business growth and success, right? But I'm going to only dive into one of those questions right now. Clarity describing. The next thing is, what are the features, right? What are the features? What are the benefits? That's just one question, all bundled, 3 questions in one. That's just one question in the entire template. Because I say, when you download it and you take pen to paper, the words that you bring out are the words you're going to use with your, for your content strategy. Because I see us all out here, people are spending time, investing time on all these ineffective means of messaging. There's no clear communication. How many social media posts have you read today? How many of them were clear? How many showed you what you needed to see? Enough for. I see Idrasa from Ivory Coast. Thank you so much for being here. So yes, do a test of everybody you follow on social media today, on Clubhouse, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Everything they're trying to sell to you, how many of those messages are clear? Do you even remember everything you've scrolled past today? Do you remember the features, the benefits? Because guys, when we don't do this thing, you don't get to influence anybody. So how to launch and sell your product and services. Clarity, particularly as clear as you can be in words, describing benefits, describing features. You need to write it down. There's spaces in the template, and there's an instruction and guide manual that you can procure at toyinumesiri.com/roadmap. There's a series of programs when it comes to branding, marketing, consumer insights, all of those things that you need to achieve business success, right? So, clear messaging. That's the most powerful tool you can dive into, you can learn. Okay? It sounds simple, but it takes a lot of practice, tremendous practice. And that practice begins with using this template and answering all the questions. Sometimes, let me say, don't fall into this trap. Sometimes when we ask questions, so if I'm teaching a class, when I ask questions and I say write it down, sometimes people say I know it. They don't want to write it down. You can't develop skill just by having it in your mind. There's a skill that I'm trying to get you to unlock. Writing skill, storytelling skill, communication skill. Many people have failed to develop it. Why? Because in our minds, we know everything that is in our minds. But I don't know what's in your mind and you're trying to sell to me. Right? I do not know what's in your mind. The only way I can understand you is if you activate and develop the skill of communication in written form, in spoken form. In fact, sales is that. If I'm trying to sell you and I cannot communicate clearly to you what I'm selling, what my products can do for you, the transformation it can give back to you, and I keep saying, you should know, you should know, you should know. No, nobody knows. Never make any assumption. Clear communication. That is the most powerful, important thing. And it's a skill. So if you've watched me, the series I've been hosting, particularly even yesterday, I talked about capacity. Okay. I talked about information, knowledge, skill, development, right? Expertise. Information, I could give you information right now, how to launch and sell your products and services. Okay. That's information. But I've also shared, you need knowledge. How? I'm telling you how to say you need clarity. You need clear communication. You need the power of storytelling to convey your message and convince others to buy into what it is you're selling. You need that. I've just given you knowledge. Now you know you need that. The next step is developing the skill. Most people don't cross over into skill development. The way you're going to develop the skill is if you download the template, you get your pen, you get your paper, and you practice what I just gave you the information on. If you don't practice it, you're not developing skill. See, I've been laying the foundation. I went into this idea of capacity development, the four stages: information, knowledge. There is practical knowledge, there's theoretical knowledge. I've given you practical, I've given you information, I've given you knowledge. The next thing I'm also offering, which I teach in the academy, is now I want you to develop the skill, because I'm not going to do the work for you. To develop skill, you must practice. Skill development requires practice, discipline. And the first time you do it, trust me, the first time you try to answer these questions, you will not be sure. You'll be like, the first attempt of what is the description of this product? You're going to, no, you're going to cross things out. You're going to come back. You probably give it to somebody else to read it. I recommend that, by the way. Get feedback. If that person still doesn't understand what you just wrote, that means you have to try it again, because you need to describe it enough in such a way that somebody else can understand and get a picture of exactly what you're saying. So skill development is where my workbooks come in. You will practice. Yes, Mr. Dora, welcome to the stage. Any reaction, thoughts? Go on.
Yeah, kindly project. We've been struggling to hear you, ma.
Okay.
Decided to I would bring it to your notice.
Right. So now that you're on the stage, you should be able to hear me clearly. It's the app.
Oh.
So now you can, yes. So I don't know why Clubhouse does that. They don't want people to just use it as a podcast, come in there, record and leave. So there has to actually be somebody else with me on the stage for you to hear me. So now you can hear clearly, right?
Yes, I can. Let's confirm from the others as well. Please, if you can hear us clearly in the chat box, let us know.
Yes. Uche just did that. So do you have any questions or reactions? But thank you so much for coming up to the stage.
None for now, ma. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So now you need to stay right there to help other people. I appreciate that. So yes, what I was saying is this idea of what I've been building on: skill development. So there's information, there's knowledge, practical knowledge, theoretical knowledge, then there's skill development, and then there's experience and expertise development. Most of the time, you can go online on Google and search for how to launch your product and services. That's information, right? Knowledge, I've told you some key things. There's still more, but I've highlighted a few things I want you to be aware of. I've given you how to. My point is that that is not enough to be successful. What I have found is we need to move people from just theoretical knowledge to practical knowledge. And practical knowledge only comes in when they do certain things and they practice certain things. So I've just shared that you need clarity. I've just shared that clear communications is important. I've just shared with you that you need to describe just one of the questions as example, that you need to describe your features, your benefits, and the product and service. You need to do that because you're going to use that in your content, in your delivery, in your marketing plan, and your sales plan. I've just given you that knowledge, but I'm also I'm caution, red flag. Most people stop there. They watch a video like this and they go home and say, now I know. No, you don't. Until the next step is purchase that template and the instructional manual and practice. The first time you try it, you're going to struggle a little bit. Because you know why? Within us, inside of us, we have clarity. You know why you're doing what you're doing, right? You do know. You know why you've built the product. You know why you've created the product. You know why you have the services. You know why you created your company. You know, I don't know. But the moment you want to sell me anything, I need to know as much as you know. And how do humans communicate? We talk to one another through written words or spoken words. And this is a skill that most haven't practiced. That's why sometimes people say, "Oh, I can't go on video. Oh, I can't go on Instagram live. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, do you know? Oh, I can't." It's because it takes practice. It does take practice. And nobody's going to do that for you the moment you sign up to be an entrepreneur. Part of your job is sales and persuasion, either through your words, written form, or through your words. Or you have to go and hire someone. And big companies hire agencies, marketing agencies, to do this work for them, because this is part of, you need this to be successful. Your ability to communicate to the market. So either you do it by yourself or you hire somebody else to do it. But for me at the academy, my whole purpose is to teach people mastery. That's why I'm calling this out. If you walk away from this video with all of the knowledge and information and you do not practice what I just said, you've not developed skill. And you need skill to do everything you want to do. Skill in writing, skill in communications. And the way you do it starts with my templates. We have workbooks. That's my students go through assignments. Why? Because when I give you knowledge, when I give you information, I'll give you templates, workbooks. When you do the work, you become a master. And if you don't do the work, everybody's sitting with knowledge, theoretical knowledge, not practical knowledge. So just watch out for that. That if there's anything you're trying to do out there, it's not enough to just consume information, listen every day to information, knowledge, everything. That is good. It's part of the process. But what I'm seeing is that most people are not converting that knowledge to skill development. And because they are not practicing, they still cannot communicate. They still cannot launch a product. They still cannot sell the product. They still cannot persuade people. Why? Because they've not done this work. You need to describe the product. It's simple, but test it out. I promise you, the first time you try to do this, number one, you fail in a way. When I say fail, it's not going to be perfect. Many times people are waiting for perfection, but the journey to perfection is actually trial and error. Nobody gets perfect the first attempt. You go on video first time. You try to answer this question first time. You're going to go, that doesn't sound right. You write again. You give somebody else. They're like, what are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying. You go back to the drawing board. You practice. Once you have it, fantastic. That's what you should go to the marketplace with. Okay? Like your content strategy, all of that. So there are several questions in the template, and I just lost one sheet on the floor right there. Product and service launch template. There's also a guide, an instructional manual that you can download at toyinmesri.com/the roadmap. Lots of resources there. Why? Because I'm helping people attain mastery. You must go from information to acquiring knowledge to developing skill. At the mastery level, then you start seeing success, right? You start seeing the results you desire. So that's why I'm going to stop today. But I want to see if Mr. Dora has any question or anybody else has any question. For those watching, drop a comment or a question that you have. And for those on Clubhouse, feel free to just ask me anything in particular that I can help you answer. There are several other things in the template that you can access when you download it. There are several other resources at the link above, really from branding to consumer insights, understanding the people you want to sell to, right? That is so important. I say if you don't brand, selling is difficult. If you brand, branding will cover you, right? The story will cover you. Those are resources at the Business and Leadership Academy as well. Any questions, Mr. Dora, before I close out today?
No question from my end. Thank you.
Would you also like to share what has your experience been in trying to launch your company or products or services to people? So because when I say launch, there are two sides to it. There's the physical representation where you're showing people, telling people, right, what your product is. There's also selling, so marketing, sales, right, of you trying to close a deal. What has your experience been? Any struggle there or success stories?
More of success stories, but I'm learning along the way, and I've been winging it a lot. So I want to finish the book and create the online course. Then I get resources on how to properly launch
So, okay, hold on a minute. So you want to launch a book or you want to launch a course? Which one?
a course and a book.
Okay, so you want to launch a book and a course. What have you done so far to prepare for that? So
I'm
as
still
ex-
working.
so as example, in theory, how would you describe that book? Because this is where practice is. You've What if I'm a customer, but you don't know I'm a customer? People are listening to you. You just missed an opportunity to actually tell us what that book is about.
Okay, I said, like I mentioned, the book is intended to help people, guide them on exporting for people who are interested in international trade, particularly exporting food items, fashion items from Nigeria to US, Canada, UK.
Awesome. So when it's time to take it to the marketplace, clarity, just like you said, in describing it, the features, the benefit, there's so many other questions you need to answer. So for someone like you, that's why this template is so important, is that you can start anticipating the materials you need to put together when it's time for you to sell, right? So for example, here, another question is around the people, the types of people that you're going to put that message in front of that actually are potential buyers. Clarity in that is also important. Most people will just say, "Oh, I have this amazing product. I have this book. I have everybody will be buying." No, right? So in the template, these are the things you must consider if you want to achieve success when you want to launch. Clarity, because we many people assume that the day they launch it, people will just buy. Go and ask how many people launched on and crickets. It doesn't happen. It's because they've not done this work. Okay, so just be aware of that. And I see Rabdu saying, "This is the point where I stopped my journey. Thank you. This is on time." Oh wow. Can you can you explain more, Rabdu? What point you stopped your journey when it was time to launch? Can you type more? This is why I love Clubhouse, because we can quickly speak. I can dive into. So Rabdu says, "This is the point where I stopped my journey. Thank you so much." Yes, and most people, it. I understand. That's why I created this resource to help anybody anywhere in the world can leverage this template and learn how to launch successfully any product. Right. So sorry, Adora, did you want to say something or comment on that as well?
Yes, I'm still in the stage of clarifying these things. I'm still working on developing who the target audience, the people I want to launch these items to.
Yes.
So I've developed three so far. I'm working on a very comprehensive customer avatar so that the content, I can flesh out more content that will speak directly to their need.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so this is so required, right? So whenever you want to launch a product, the region you want to launch it, who you want to launch it to, there are several things you have to put in place. In fact, you may have the best product, you may have the right customer avatar. If you don't have the right brand and believability, nobody's buying. That's why I talk about the business roadmap and success. There are several things you must put in place that will support you. So even if you try to sell me an amazing thing and I don't know you, I don't know your brand, how many things do you buy that people are always offering you every day? If you don't know them, you don't know them. Those are the things. That's why I say equity is in a brand. These are the things I teach at the academy. Everybody assumes that it's just about the product. No, it's not just about the product or service. The service and the product is a key component. Many people launch amazing products every single day in the marketplace. Look at how many books are on Amazon. Sit down with how many of them actually are able to sell. Why? It's because when I developed the roadmap to business growth and success, there are several things they've skipped. Many people skip the process and they rush into the market with a product. And because they've put their sweat into a product, everybody's expecting that people will just say, wow, this is amazing. I've been waiting for this all my life. If they don't know you, if you've not built a brand, if you've not built a reputation, a strong one that says you are the authority figure, they go to your competition. So there's a package on branding strategy, there's a package on customer, or diving deeper. There's a 5-point series on customers, identifying them, understanding them, building solutions for them, marketing to them, and selling to them. And then the one we're talking about today is on the product itself, the descriptive words that you're going to use to put out there, whether on your website, whether on your social media, on and on. So I just want to encourage people to really understand the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. It's not just one thing or the other. It's like flying a plane. There are several things you need to put in place. If you put everything in place, your job will be easy. If you don't, it's like trying to cut a tree without a sharp knife. You still get it done eventually, but you sweat a little bit. Why? You make it more challenging because the market is the market. People are people, right? Meaning the consumer market behave a certain way and they respond to certain things and certain storylines in a specific way. So Ms. Rabdu is continuing and saying, okay, yes, I didn't launch my innovation because I am not sure how. Still studying on that. Okay, let me put your post out here. So you're studying. This is where I really wish maybe if you go to towingyoumastery.com and you want to book a meet and greet 20-minute session with me, you can go to towingyoumastery.com because I want to ask you more questions because clarity, again, this is where skill of clarity is. You're giving me piece by piece, but there's so much more behind that story. So this is why part of the skill that I share today is clarity. Clarity in messaging, even how we message to one another, right? Is that when we want people to really understand, we have to take time to be clear with our message, right? So, Rob, if you want to submit a lengthy description so that I can help you, because I don't have enough to really pinpoint where your struggle is right now. But what I would say is that if you go to tonymastery.com/the roadmap, you can download resources that will definitely help you build your business and achieve success. I can tell you that. But then if you want to talk to me personally, there's also on my website, tonymastery.com, you can request a meet and greet, 20 minutes free meet and greet. And please come prepared. I also have to put that. There's a waiting time, but come prepared. The more information you can come prepared with, the more effective more you can benefit from that session because the time runs really fast. So that's one of the things I think a lot of people struggle with. But you can improve the skill of communication. You need it. It's a requirement for success. There's nobody that is the most successful people in the world. That's a power. You need it. Your ability to sell yourself, tell your story, tell people who you are, what product you're selling in a believable way. Unfortunately, I think pride gets in the way too. People think I'm this, I'm this. The market doesn't care who you are. If you can't help the market and if you can't humble yourself enough to explain to the market what you can do for the market, nobody cares. I'm talking now, when I talk to my students in my academy, I drive these things home. These are the limitations and the mindsets. So that's why, I have a leadership and success mindset program as well, because mindset is in the way. When I teach business concept, do this marketing, do sales, I may teach 5 people and mindset will stop them. Pride, should I say stubbornness? I think I know. All those things, you can move forward because the market out there doesn't care. The market only cares about the market. And it's our job and duty to show up in the marketplace with the right level of information that will support the market and help the market make a decision that we are the best choices for them. And Until we're able to do that, we will keep coming to say, we're here for you, right? That's the duty, that's the full-time job of an entrepreneur. It's communication, sales, persuasion, marketing, product development, branding, right? These are the fundamentals that I teach. And when I teach it, I'm not just teaching it as information or theoretical knowledge. No, I want you to develop skill. You will develop skill. That's why mindset program will support you, right? Clarity. You activate clarity, you adopt the mindset of a champion, you remove barriers to success, you will network your way to prosperity. These are modules in my mindset program because all of those things are in the way. They're in the way. Anyway, I hope somebody is listening. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with me. I really appreciate it. My name is Toyin Umesiri. I'm the founder and CEO of Nazarum. I serve as a leadership and success coach. I also teach international trade and entrepreneurship at the Business and Leadership Academy and the International Trade Network. Great to have you here. Do go to my website, toyinumesiri.com, to access more resources, the roadmap to business growth and success. And for those listening to me on Clubhouse, thank you so much for listening. Team Replay, I appreciate it. Do message me if you have any questions as well. I also see some chats and comments out there. Thank you so much for participating today. I'll see you again. Have a great weekend. Bye. Awesome.